Hi, my name is Reid. In the beginning of this class, if you remember, we had to do an introduction video. And for that video, we had to talk about what we wanted to learn in this class. And my answer to that was that I wanted to learn how to better market my nonprofit. I run the Dayton chapter of Chick Time. Chick Time is a national nonprofit organization. What we do is we provide workshops for children in orphanages and domestic violence shelters, and we pretty much bring in a new leader every month, a new topic every month. We talk about our hobbies, our skills, our abilities, anything that these kids otherwise wouldn't be exposed to. So I since have realized that marketing a nonprofit is much different than marketing a business, but I was able to apply a lot of the same principles that we learned in each module to the marketing plan I was going to be implementing for my nonprofit. So I'm going to go through each module and explain how I used that to market my nonprofit. So before I get started, I just want to kind of explain what my goal was. So my marketing goal was to recruit new volunteers. I didn't just want to recruit volunteers though. I didn't just want somebody who would come in, donate some clothes, stay for a couple minutes, and then leave. I wanted to build a relationship. I wanted to get people's attention. I wanted to show them the mission that we're trying to accomplish, get them interested, grow their desire to be a part of this and grow in our chapter, bring new people to us. I wanted them to really feel a call to action, and I wanted them to have fellowship, feel supported, and feel like they were really part of something big. So in Module 1, we talked about defining who we're marketing to. Obviously, off the bat, I knew that was going to be volunteers for me, but I still had a lot of questions to ask and a lot of research to do. So I went ahead and started with my demographic. I determined between ages 18 to about 50. Originally, I was looking between 18 and 25, but I soon realized that there were so many more people who had love and support to give. So we typically try to market towards females just because a lot of these shelters prefer female volunteers because of the abuse and traumatic experiences that their residents have been through. So following that, I started to research my geographic segment. I determined that there's 4 other Chick Times here in Ohio. There's one in Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, and of course Dayton. Dayton's right in between the Columbus and Cincinnati chapters, so we determined that our segment is between 30 and 40 miles radius of Dayton. It does open up a little bit further on the western side, on the eastern side, because there is no southeastern chapter here in Ohio. But a lot of people aren't willing to drive more than 40 minutes to volunteer. So we keep it around 30 to 40 minutes. And last, but certainly not least, we dive into our psychographic segment. Chick Time is not affiliated with any religious or political affiliation in any way. We are really just under the mission of empowering women and making the world a better place for the next generation. And our charity partner, their mission is to empower women and eliminate racism. So really anybody that has beliefs and core values that correlate with our mission, that's kind of the segment that we're interested in. Of course, this is something that you kind of have to get to know. I think one of the most important things I learned in Module 1 is to keep asking questions. So we need to not only determine if they meet these criteria, but also, are they good with children? Are they interested in doing a background check? Would they pass a background check? What's their availability? Do they experience? Do their values kind of correlate with our mission? How far are they willing to drive? Things like that are super important in determining any market. Next, we move on to Module 2, how to develop a strong brand. So this was something that was really dear to my heart. I wanted everybody to recognize Chick Time the way I do. I want to create a correlation between the name, the trademark, the logo, and what really we do, what our real mission is, and how big of an impact we're making. So I set up a couple of meetings at churches and things around the area where me and my leaders could express what Chick Time's done for us, what it's done for the children that we serve, kind of share some stories about our personal experiences with abuse and how this organization not only helps those children get through these things, but they help our volunteers. We're all kind of like a fellowship, a sisterhood, and we like to express that to people so they kind of correlate that kind of positive vibe with our name. Along with that, the Chick Time logo is very brand assertive. You can definitely tell when you see the hot pink that it's Chick Time, the stars and the fancy lettering. It's very easy to identify. So in Module 3, we talked about capturing customer value a little bit. So to correlate with Module 2, and as I will talk about in Module 4, we really want to capture value not only in the name of Chick Time, but in the experience. So we want volunteers to come, and we want them to be a part of the sisterhood. We want them to have fellowship. We want them to come here and think, oh my gosh, I've really done something amazing. This is really something. We want them to feel appreciated, so we created a volunteer appreciation program, which I'll dive into a little bit in Module 4. But we really want to bring that same kind of customer value aspect to our volunteers in their experience. So to go ahead and dive into Module 4, where we talked about creating and maintaining communications. So I think that communication is super important in any relationship and in any business. It needs to be implemented. So as I was talking about with the volunteer appreciation program, when a volunteer first signs up to volunteer with Chick Time, they instantly get a welcome packet. We send them this, and it kind of explains what we do, who we are, what their role will be, how they can grow in our chapter, and automatically they feel welcomed. And then to follow up with that, after they come to our event and they've done such a great job, we make sure that every single volunteer gets a thank you letter. We want them to know that we appreciate the work that they just put into us, because as a nonprofit, we would be absolutely nothing without our volunteers. So creating, maintaining, and just making that in relationship so important is so important to us. We make sure we are constantly checking in on our volunteers, because not only do we want them to be able to come as much as they can, the most important thing is that we keep that strong relationship. So whether they're coming once a month or they're coming once every 6 months, we want them to know that we are a safe place that they can always come back to, always volunteer with, and always talk to if they ever need anything. So running a nonprofit is a lot different than a social enterprise, because with a social enterprise, you get to choose how much or how little of the funds go to the social mission. Nonprofits aren't like that. So by law, all proceeds have to go to our social mission. So that's why we're going to skip over Module 5, because there was just maybe not as much that I could correlate into my marketing plan with my nonprofit. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into Module 6. So in Module 6, we talked about making the most of competition. So in this module, what I got out of it was that you can create a partnership. And with that partnership, you can create a much stronger relationship with the people that you're marketing to. So what my chapter did as soon as we became established last year, we searched out a charity. We picked the YWCA, and we chose their people, their residents to work with. Which has been an amazing partnership. We are constantly providing services and volunteers for them, and they are constantly providing the residents and the volunteers as well for us, which has been really awesome because we're both benefiting from it. So in Module 7, we talked a little bit about the sociological side of the market, what they do and why they do it. I have gotten to learn a lot about the patterns of volunteers, the types of volunteers, and it has been nothing but tools in my toolbox nonstop. It's been really awesome getting to know the way that college students can volunteer versus pilots versus professors versus other controllers or teachers or teenagers that just need to get in their volunteer hours. It's really interesting to see the way that they interact, not only with their own environment when they talk about Chick Time, but when they come in and bring in their skills and hobbies and abilities. It's been a great experience, and I think that Module 7 really, we need to take advantage of it, and we need to take advantage of learning the way that people act together and how we can use it to our advantage. So right now we're in Module 8, and in Module 8 we've talked about interactive media and social media. The biggest thing I learned from Module 8 was the importance of being accessible and interactive. It's so important to not only have every capability to interact with your market, but every intention to as well. I get so many responses just from social media. I started a social media campaign about 2 weeks ago. The ads and the posts alone have gotten more shares than anything that we've ever gotten combined. We've gotten much more direct messages, so many more questions, so many people opening up to this mission specifically. It's been really, really awesome. And I think the most important thing, like I said, from this module is me stressing the importance of us replying, listening, just another mode of communicating. One of the things that personally I think about social media is that we need much more positive vibes in the world. I think that a big value that I focus in on our social media is that I like to put positive, relatable things out there. So I think that just being positive, putting out there things that people are like, oh, like I can relate to that, like that's funny, or like I totally get that, like I've been there. That makes people have a personal connection to whatever you're marketing, and it has definitely reined in so many more volunteers than we've gotten in weeks. So social media in technology is a tool that is never going to stop. So if you're not on the boat, you need to get on, because it's not going to stop. It's going to keep furthering, and you just have to keep up and keep using it to your advantage. So overall, I have learned quite a bit from this course. I appreciate our teacher so much. I just want to say thank you to her. I think it's so important that we keep all of these skills that we've learned over the last couple of weeks, because I know that mine will definitely be following me through life. It's already changed my nonprofit so much, and I can't wait to build on these skills in the future.